Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
We are here with our reaction and review for House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 5. Can we just start with an acknowledgement at the beginning of this video?
Mm-hmm.
We hate Criston Cole. This is a house filled of Criston Cole haters, and somehow I hate Criston Cole even more coming out of this episode.
Yo, what he was doing to all those people just for his own, I need to go out in a blaze of glory. Oh my goodness, he is truly the worst. And there's been some, pretty bad characters in
Yes.
general that done bad things. But you're gonna march an entire group of people to basically to their death, to their end, so that you can go out on your own terms. There's something very dark about that. And I mean, he is a very, very dark-hearted character.
He is such a jerk, like an absolute jerk. Like, there is a difference between saying, all right, guys, we know the odds are slim, but we're gonna go in here at night. We're gonna find a way to turn the tide. Like, you actually gave people hope. It wasn't a lot of hope, but they could cling to this hope. And now, at the end of this episode, you're just like, nah, just kidding. I just want to make sure that I'm special. Like, you know who's going to go down in the history books? Criston Cole. You know who won't go down in the history books? All these other people who followed you along. If I was one of these people, I'm grabbing his sword. I am like spinning around doing like a javelin at the Olympics. I'm flinging it into the water. Like, this guy does not deserve anything for what he has put these people through.
He's lucky that they didn't all just kill him.
Yeah, I just love that Sir Gawain is just like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah,
See you
just
later.
head shaking, leaving.
Yeah, like we'll get a little bit more into this because it does feel like Criston Cole's demise is 100% coming at this point.
Absolutely. But before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are going to be here all season talking about House of the Dragon reviews after each episode. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much for the support. We really appreciate that. And we also really appreciate everyone joining our YouTube memberships. Over there, you can find exclusive House of the Dragon videos, including one all about Massaria, aka White Worm. Is she really a witch? That was a really fun discussion.
Yep.
We recommend checking that out. And we have another exclusive House of the Dragon discussion coming on YouTube memberships this week. So thank you so much for your support over there. All right. Criston Cole, I think to me, he's probably going to be taking out somebody we care about. I don't think they're gonna have him just like march in the next episode and get immediately killed. I think it's going to happen this season, but I'm a little bit worried about who's kind of gonna be the collateral damage of his whole selfish mission here.
I am so focused on watching his demise. I cannot wait for it. There is it's been like since maybe Ramsay Bolton that I've had a character that I have just despised as much as Criston Cole, that I cannot wait to see how it all comes together, that I haven't even thought of collateral damage because he's already done so much damage.
He has. And so rather than even think about collateral damage, my dream here is just that we've already seen, Adam's been out here, Bela's out there.
Yeah.
Can Moon Dancer just have a little bit of dinner, and that dinner is Criston Cole? Like, I'm more than happy with that.
Yeah.
But speaking of dinner, not to bring this into a particularly macabre direction here, we do have to talk about this pretty horrible visual that Daemon finds himself. It reminded me a lot of Grotesquerie over on FX that had a very interesting first season, and then Ryan Murphy was like, I don't want to do this anymore, I guess, and just never brought it back for more.
Which is wild. That was a really good show. If you like Seven, this was very similar to that. It was really good.
Yeah.
Very weird they didn't bring it back. But yeah, I mean, it reminded me of that too when I saw this sort of tableau at the end of all these gold cloaks. But I mean, Ormond's really got his hands in a lot of pies still in the city where he's just like, I want you guys to know I still have some power here. Somebody is going to be taking out your gold cloaks, leaving them out for everyone to see so that the people of your city understand that they're actually not protected because the gold cloaks are the people that are supposed to be protecting you and they're not able to be protected. I'll kill a couple over here, a couple over here, four over here. Here's a whole table of them, Daemon. And even though he had this really rousing speech with his gold cloaks, be like, hey guys, I know you guys are getting killed. I know you guys are not getting paid, but there will be riches coming for you. Just let's get together in groups of, more, 4 or 5. Let's just make sure it's not just 2 of us. We'll make sure that we're not outnumbered by whoever it is that's doing this. One guy's like, man, it was just me. Nobody believes you. It was just you. But the fact that we get to this spot where there's like 9 people at this table, Daemon really is one of the first times I've seen him look actually genuinely concerned, where he is like, okay, putting them together in groups of even 4 or 5, not enough. Here's a group of almost 10 people that are all out.
This is, I think, what makes Ormond, and this is coming from a guy who called him boring a couple of weeks ago, but now I'm in this spot where it is just like, I think he's a really compelling antagonist now. Like,
He is.
he's really, really smart. Yeah, I still have a hard time buying into your end goal here, Ormond, but at the same time, this idea that they're still influencing King's Landing, that you can take advantage of,
Yep.
you clearly have a lot of other contacts out there that you can do this. So there's that part of it. But then there's also one of the things that's the most valuable for Daemon is his ego. He loves to feel important. He loves to feel like he can get the job done. He did this whole spiel with Rhaenyra over these past couple of episodes. That's why the gold cloaks and taking care of King's Landing is so, so important. He keeps failing. And it's like the more that he keeps failing, I think the more he's going to get frustrated, the more likely it is that Daemon, who has just been known to be a little bit reckless, is going to start spiraling and actually cause an even bigger problem for his wife.
The thing is Daemon's not wrong. Like, the gold cloaks are extremely
Yes.
important to keeping order and to making Rhaenyra safe, himself safe, everybody safe. But I mean, they've been acting a little reckless because of things that Rhaenyra is, oh, this graffiti on the wall, this is a problem. He's like, is this a problem enough that like people have to die over it? Like, I don't think so. You're looking for revenge, and revenge will come, but revenge can wait. We have bigger problems going on right now, like your gold cloaks not getting paid, like them getting taken out in the street and left there for people to see. It makes people really uneasy. They don't understand what's going on. They're supposed to be there to protect people. That is not happening. They're dying in the streets. And now, how is he going to go back to Rhaenyra and tell her about this tableau that's been set up here? There's a way bigger problem than Daemon first realized.
Daemon, I love watching him. I love Matt Smith, but I've never felt sorry for Daemon until I kind of feel bad for Daemon right now, because like you were right. He was not wrong. And like, this is one of those rare instances where usually Daemon is the one with sort of the unreasonable plan. Like, we saw this earlier this season, being like, oh, we can go and take this place and we can unite the entire world.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
okay, yes.
but now he is actually trying to be reasonable here. And I think Rhaenyra, like, I understand why she is feeling a little bit hung up on the past and, everything that has come her way when it comes to her kids. But it is a situation where you have to think of the bigger picture here. And I think a lot of that is just that if everybody in the city feels safe, protected, the guards are taken care of, eventually the small folk are taken care of, if people are happy, they're probably going to be less inclined to spend their time, spreading all these rumors in the first place.
Well, and revenge never really fills your soul. I'm a huge revenge person. I love these stories so much because they are kind of never ending. You never really feel that great by the time you get to it, because the thing that you've lost is still lost and you still feel bad about it. And I mean, we've even had Daemon come in like, oh, here's the head of the guy that was riding sheep stealer and all this stuff that happened to your kids. And she's still feeling like, I need more revenge.
It's just, it's never going to happen. It's never going to make her happy. And I think instead, it's just going to distract her, because it's just like, if she continues to be obsessed about this, like, how much is she even going to be able to help Daemon come up with a solution?
Right.
Because I'll be honest here. I'm sitting here, I'm trying to think up even on the fly, like, okay, how is Daemon going to figure this out? Who can he lean on? Because it's like,
Right.
Daemon could be like, all right, gold cloaks, I'm gonna go out here with you, but it's like Daemon can't spawn in every part of King's Landing all at the same time, and like who can he really rely on beyond the gold cloaks right now?
This is where I'm putting on my tinfoil hat, and I feel like
Mhm.
we might have to have this unlikely duo come back together of White Worm and Damon, because White Worm really does have her hands
Hmm.
everywhere and her whole like network of spies. If he really wants answers, I think he's going to have to humble himself to come to her to be like, we have a bigger problem, and we both want to protect Rhaenyra. We are on the same page about that. So just this one time, I think we need to come together to work on this, because as much as you want to watch me go down in flames, that doesn't benefit Rhaenyra at all. If these gold cloaks all go away, you're taking away her protection. So let's figure it out.
You are 100% right. Like that is absolutely what he needs to do. And I think Mysaria also needs to realize this is good for her. It's good that she can ultimately take care of the small folk, because without the gold cloaks, the small folk are eventually going to get hurt. And like whoever is behind all of this, who's still talking to Ormond, they gotta have a place, a tavern, a shop on the street, like somewhere where they're like with each other. And it's like she has to spies everywhere. Like she's actually probably going to be able to supply some information here.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't see another option for him. He needs somebody that has information, and she has information for days.
What made the end of this episode really interesting to me is that we had these two cliffhangers that were really, really fascinating. Everything with Daemon, and we're going to get into now everything with Alicent and Helaena. And then we had Criston Cole shouting his face off, and I just wanted to get him off the screen so I could focus on these other two things, because like obviously it doesn't feel to me like we're going to lose Helaena and Alicent, but they are not in a good spot coming out of this at all.
No, I mean, this whole thing with them trying to escape, White Worm, again, we've talked about this in our memberships video, is she a witch? Because it feels like there is more to her than just the spy network. Like she really seemed to know what was going on with Helena without actually seeing her, really what's going on. That by the time she comes in, she's like, oh yeah, this tea, so who is this actually for? And Allison's just like, me. I was like, okay, you're a mom to the end, that you're like, I'm gonna try to protect my daughter the best that I can. I was like, good for you, but like, come on. Then she's into the next part of it where she's like, okay, we gotta escape.
Yeah.
I've sold my necklace, maids are gonna help us. They didn't even get out the door before White Worm was like, no, back into the room. This is not a thing that's gonna happen. You think I'm not gonna know what you guys are doing? Get back in there. And that conversation that Alicent ended up having with White Worm, where she was just like, I get that you're in Rhaenyra's good graces now,
Mm-hmm.
but she's always going to choose Daemon. This is her partner, her husband, her family. She is always going to choose Daemon over you. So it's not a bad thing for you to still have good graces with the Hightowers or anybody else. Like, don't put all your eggs in this one basket. You've already been part of like a switchover of this throne in a pretty short period of time. So just think about that.
It's a huge risk for White Worm, like a huge risk, because like even just the second Rhaenyra ever finds out that she knew about this and didn't tell her, like that could be the end of her, right?
We don't even know that she won't tell, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I feel like Alicent and Helaena are not going to just be trapped in the wall, left for dead. Like they find
No.
this secret passage. For some reason, the door locked behind them, and then they're blocked off on the other part. Looks like their light is going out. They're not going to just be left in there to die. They're going to
No.
figure it out. They're going to come into the room. They're going to be gone. They're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's who is going to figure it out.
There are a couple of things about this storyline I'm going to admit I'm a little bit confused about. And I think it starts with the idea that
The door just automatically locked behind them.
it's the door locking behind, or it's just the fact that they magically just so happen to find this secret door at this point where it is just like, you got like, Alicent, you've been around King's Landing for a while now, and it's just all of this is
Yes.
suddenly like, oh, like this is magically here. Like, where in the world did this come from?
Here's the magic door. A wizard did it.
Yeah, and then beyond all of that, like I think they left a little bit too much off screen when it comes to Helena and what she decided to do with their daughter Jaehaera, because at
Yep.
first she was just like, I'm not leaving her. I don't want to leave her. And
Yep.
she seemed pretty steadfast. And I know Alicent had this big speech where she was trying to be like, okay, now Rhaenyra, she's never gonna hurt her. You could be pregnant with a male heir. You know, we know in the books that she has a male child named Maelor. So it's like, all right, that's very well possible. So you could leave her behind. But we never really saw Helena be like, okay, all right, this is okay for Jaehaera. It's just like, all right, we're just moving past this. She's ready to go now.
Yeah, it's just that Alicent told her such a huge lie. And I think Helena, deep down in her heart, knew that it was going to end up being a lie when it was like, okay, the maid has your daughter. At the end of this, we're going to go through all of this, to get to the end. And right when we're leaving at the door, your daughter will be there. I was like, Helena doesn't believe this lie. I think in
No.
her heart of hearts, she wants to believe this lie and she feels like she has to believe this lie. But I think she knows that when she gets to the end of this, her daughter wasn't going to be waiting for her there. By the time they ended up getting to the secret passage, I think Helena just knew she didn't really have a lot of choice left and she was going to have to find a way to just get out of there and find a way to get her daughter back at another point.
I'm surprised she didn't put her foot down a little bit more. But I mean, also to be fair, Helena is one of these characters we kind of see her for like 2 or 3 minutes an episode. So even at this point, season 3, I still don't really know her that well. And I think because of that, she's a hard person to kind of wrap our heads around. Like Alicent,
Yeah.
I understand her motives behind everything at this point. Like she's out for self-preservation. Yeah. I'm still not fully sold on where in the world Alicent is going to go, but I think that is kind of a, I'll just figure that part out a little bit later.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anyone who's part of the High Tower is going to think that she's a traitor.
Yeah.
Like, there's nowhere really for her to go.
Okay, we've gone on long enough without mentioning your guy Aemond, who after a couple of weeks just being off screen, big surprise, everyone, he is still very much at Harrenhal.
Absolutely. Listen, this makes sense for Alice. She has heard about the bounty on Aemon. She knows that Harrenhal is the bounty. She wants the castle. It's interesting that we kind of don't know exactly where she's landing on it. Like, I'm sure in the back of her mind, she's like, okay, I'll get him back up to health so that I can bring him in. I can get my castle and we'll go along. But there is obviously a little bit of her playing him as well, where she's almost pretending to be like a motherly figure, a caring figure. She's hugging him. He's saying mother. There's lots of people coming into this castle looking for Aemon. They want the bounty, right?
Mhm.
We've got people trying to attack her, him coming and saving her. Is this enough that's going to tip the scales for her where she's like, this person just saved my life now. I've saved his. He saved mine. We're kind of bonded in another way now.
I kind of think it could and really should be. Because, I mean, let's just contrast here Aemond and Daemon, whose names are similar enough sometimes I get tripped up over them. But it's just like Aemond has actually saved her with this incredible action sequence where all of a sudden he's suddenly healthy enough to take out like 6 different
Let's
people.
go,
Like,
John Wick.
I'm not mad about it. I'm just gonna throw like, that is the thing. It's just like this actor's so good at like
Love
being
it.
physical. He's got
Yep.
this physicality. So it's like he has done this for her. And it's what has Damon really done for Alice? Let's just sit back here and think about this. He has acted like she's not important. He has kind of shunned her away. She did her best with him, but if she is just thinking mostly about herself and what gets her to that end goal you specified, like there's no guarantee that it's Aemond. Like once Aemond is fully healthy, you don't know for sure what he's gonna do. He's got Vhagar, he's got all these other priorities, but it's just like, where else is she gonna go? It just makes the most sense that she would stay around Aemond if she can.
Well, that's the thing. Aemon now knows that King's Landing has fallen. Everything that's kind of going on. Vhagar's in the wind right now, allegedly. But I feel like the dragon is going to come back. Like, if they want this castle, they can just take this castle. They don't need Rhaenyra to give them the castle. who is coming here for this castle? I see all these people coming in. I'm like, this castle is broken,
Yeah.
is falling apart. You're gonna have to put a ton of money into this castle. It is damp, it's being rained in all the time, it is haunted. Like, what are you guys doing? This is a perfect castle for the two of them. But I will say the thing that I really liked was watching Aemond and watching, Aegon having this sort of same conversation at the same time about how each of them felt like the other brother was getting advantages, getting more of their mother's love, getting the spot that they each wanted to be in, and that they both had jealousy and, admiration for their brother. And they're both in such different spots, but feel the same envy. It was a really cool back and forth.
Yeah, this was just good writing. Like, this was
Very good writing.
really giving us a window into these two people who, yes, they have both suffered, but they are also both very privileged. And because of the
Yes.
idea that they have both grown up with this privilege, like, they're not going to see the underside. Like, they don't know what it's like to be the small folk, to really suffer in that sort of way. So they're getting really hung up on these ideas. Like, Aemon can't really see the forest through the trees with how to move forward at this point. I think that's going to be a really fascinating story once he really, gets his health under him and starts to really have his bizarre ghost castle with Alice. But then Aegon, I will say, as much as this Aegon story has dragged and dragged and dragged
It
this
absolutely
season,
has.
watching Laris just tell him right off to his face was so incredibly satisfying to me with because he needed to hear it. He has been a pain in the you know what. He has been privileged. Yes, Aegon has suffered his own ways throughout time, but it's just like whatever good he has ever had, he never wants it. He's never happy. And so it's just with Laris, I'm even just like, what are you even doing anymore, Laris? Like, why don't you just leave him and go somewhere else?
I was also happy to see Aegon tell off Laris because, like, stop. He thinks he knows everything. He
Yes.
doesn't know everything either. Like, yeah, he's got people out there that can help them, and that's great or whatever. But, like, what is really your plan? I kind of understand why Aegon is like, you know what? I don't really buy into what you're telling me. You lie a lot. Like, are you really taking me wherever it is you think that this is going to work out for me in any kind of way? At this point, I just want revenge. I want to take out my brother. I have had a problem with him my whole life.
Yes.
He tried to kill me. I'm over it. Now there's throughout the lands, everybody thinks my brother, took me out, and that's the story, and that I'm dead. Like, no way is this how my history is going out. I get that Laris is like, listen, for all the hardships you have had, you are still very privileged. So just check yourself so we can get moving forward. I think that's the relatable part of this story, is that while Aegon and Aemon are both privileged, there's still the relatability of wanting your mother's love and
Yes.
respect, and wanting to make them proud and have them look at you that way, not the way that Aemon does, but in that way of just like, man, well done, job well done. Aegon, you're the king. You've done well to get here. We're very happy for you. Oh, Aemon over here. Yeah, I know you're not the king, but man, you really studied. You really got together all your work in battle. Like, we're very proud of you. And neither of them are really getting that. And I think that's a really relatable story for everyone who wants to make their parents proud.
Yeah, that's the thing. Are they ever going to get there? Like, to me, the story that's most tantalizing when it comes to these two, and I mean, I'll rope in here Ormond as well, is just that here we have the remnants of the Greens, and they're just kind of like all over the place. Like, I don't think there's any universe where Aegon just ends up going to Bravos, because then he's just like so far off the board. This is not a show that's lasting 8 seasons. You can't just do here what you did to Bran and it's just like kick him off screen forever. Like,
Yeah.
I think Aegon's gonna stay reasonably close by one way or another, and I want him and Aemon to eventually collide with Ormond and Daemon, because it's just like they're on the same side, but they're not on the same side, because we know what Ormond really wants. So we may just kind of have a battle within the family. And while I have had my grievances with Aemond over the course of time, I kind of want him to take out Ormond because I'm gonna find that to be really, really satisfying.
Absolutely. I feel so bad for what is happening to Daron. None of this is his choice.
Yeah.
He, Alicent sent him there to be like, okay, we'll see if you do a bit better without me somewhere else, sort of thing. She even said, I wanted to make sure that one of my kids was a high tower and not a Targaryen, and to grow up as a high tower. And he has. And while that's great, Ormond is not the greatest person here to like be raising him, because he's raising him for his own gain, to just be like, you're going to be the king. Here's a coin with your face on it. We're going to, don't ever apologize for beating me at something. You're here to be a winner. I'm just like, oh my God. This kid doesn't know what to do. He's apologizing for winning a game.
Yeah.
Like, he knows how wild and out there Ormond is, and that he does have to step lightly, even as someone who's being, fixed up to be the king.
I feel so bad for Daron. Daron just feels like kind of a normal person his age. Like this whole thing, it
Yes.
reminds me a little bit of like I never played Little League Baseball, but we always hear these stories of like, oh, here's this kid Little League player who's pretty decent, but his parents are in the stands, they're screaming at the referees, they're like yelling at the teammates, they're making it a miserable experience. Like Daron doesn't ever get to be human, and it seems like he cares about his dragon. It
Yep.
seems like he has empathy
Yes.
for like the people around him. It's like he has like some elements that like in theory could make a good king, but he doesn't
Yes.
have any history in diplomacy. He doesn't know how to do any of this stuff. He's just getting shoved into this role he's not ready for, just so that Ormond theoretically can be this puppet master.
Right.
I just feel for him because he's not really getting any real training, and he's gonna eventually, I'm guessing, see, oh, here comes some of my family. Oh, here's Aegon. Here's Aemon. Hey guys, I've been away from you so long. Oh no, you want to kill me? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, he feels like he's just a very broken down kid, that he's just like, okay, this is a situation I'm in. I have to figure out a way to navigate it. We saw it in the last episode as well, when
Yeah.
Ormond was chopping up his table, and he even whispered to some of the people that were in the room, get out. It's time to get out. Like, get out.
Yeah, I hope we get to something bigger with those characters soon, but that is
Yeah.
where we are coming out of House of the Dragon season 3, episode 5. Let us know everything you thought about this one. Are we about to witness the death of Criston Cole? Cross our fingers, hope for the best. And also thank you so much
Thank
to
you.
everyone supporting us on YouTube memberships. It really does mean the world. We will have another exclusive House of the Dragon video there
Yep.
this week. We will see you here next time.